I'd like to welcome our guest today, but first I'd like to say thank you to PCCEO for giving us this collaborative opportunity. PCCEO, or Community Action Agency, has been serving the Peoria County area for a number of years, since 1966. So we'd like to thank them. But my guests today are Kyle Bright, who is admissions representative at Illinois Central College, and of course, Mr. Agbara Bryson, who is founder of the Harvesting Dreams program, and of course a counselor at Illinois Central College as well. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You know, so many times we talk about this feeling of inclusion for our African American students. To make them feel included in things can go a long way. Mr. Bryson, you and I have had extensive conversations about our inclusion mechanism with the Harvesting Dreams program. Perhaps you could highlight a little bit about that.
Well, you know, Morri, the more comfortable and the more included that students feel, particularly at any college setting, when they feel that they're part of the campus, part of the environment, then they seem to utilize more of the academic resources, participate in the college activities as well as community activities. And you know, that's one of the things that we attempt to do at the Harvesting Dreams program, is to provide events and activities that not only are involved at the college, but also that's involved in the community, such as, you know, presentations into the grade school, presentations into the high schools, developing chapters into other colleges, as well as being a part of the CAPtions program, being able to talk to the community as a whole. So as a result of the sense of inclusion, this is what helps our members stick together. Inclusion is you know, like being one big family.
Right. Yeah, and I know that the objective, especially for me, it really worked as far as encouraging me to become a leader, encouraging me to participate in certain activities. And then when I found myself beginning to build these positive paths of success, then I started to believe in myself. Yes. And that's all we want for our young men and women out there. As a matter of fact, coming up for Black History Month, our young men and women are going to have an opportunity to step up and become leaders in the community and perform and show what they can do during Black History Month. And Kyle, you have something slated at the college coming up.
Yes. It's,
perhaps you can share that.
Yes, our annual African American History program, celebrating African American history, and it's going to be February 13th, that's a Monday, from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 1 p.m. at the East Peoria campus at ICC, and it'll be located in the Tranquility Room.
Okay, and what kind of things you have touted for that? What kind of things are going to happen there? What kind of...
Well, we try to keep it as interactive as possible.
Right.
It's going to be an hour and a half program with a reception to follow immediately. So if you are attending, there will be food there for you to eat up.
Right.
But
that's always a big one.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Got to always mention food. Have to always. But we always have a guest speaker. The keynote speaker this year is going to be Lonnie Whisker from the Tri-County Urban League.
Good
and
choice.
most of you, most people in this city know him. He is on the speaking circuit a lot, so he'll be there as a guest speaker. We have students participating. As far as singing, possible poetry component to the program. There'll be special recognitions of employees, African American employees at ICC who have spent a lot of time working there and helping students, you know, get to that next goal of success. So just a lot of different things going on.
That's great. And you know, during this Black History Month, I really love this time at ICC, I tell you, because you get to see some of the students perform as well. And we have some of those things slated as well. I mean, you wouldn't believe the talent that African American students possess until you actually put them up there and make them perform. And I mean, it's just unbelievable to witness. So I would encourage those who are in the community that would like to see that come on out, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Great.
February 13th, 11 o'clock to 1 p.m., just to reiterate that.
Yeah. Not only that, is we have coming up this weekend, Mr. Bryson, is our annual Dress for Success in collaboration with the Urban League, and where young men can come out, and I think that's this Saturday from 1 to 3, and they can come out and get suits, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if we can get young men to come out there and get some professional attire, perhaps they'll be equipped to go to the Black History celebration in style.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Or to that next job interview.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to add, is that, you know, every male needs a good suit. I mean, that's part of getting a job, is being able to have a suit. But you know, there's nothing. There aren't very many places that you can get a suit for free.
Right.
And the Urban League is one of the few programs, as far as I know, in the country that offers a Dress for Success for males. I know that there's numerous Dress for Success for the ladies, but not very many for the guys. And so this is a great opportunity. It's a great program. We participated in this program. It was either last year or the year before. And you know, more, that's why, you know, that whole environment on the campus changed, because there were African American males in suits like yourself.
Right.
Is that one of them right there? Is that one of our Dress for Success? Yeah. See, look at him. See,
and it's how you feel, makes you feel better. You know, if you dress good and you'll feel good about yourself.
That's right.
That carries over into everything. So,
and I want to add also that there is a component of the Dress for Success where Wayne Cannon will be talking about giving tips, interviewing tips, how to put a tie together, how to tie a tie, what color coordination of your suits and your shirts, as well as your ties. And I tell you, you can't have a nice suit without having some nice shoes. So he'll talk the importance of shoes and the type of shoes you should wear with certain interviews. So we're looking forward to that. It's always a great activity, but more importantly, it helps our students get to the next level. We want our students not only to get an education, but the main goal is to get employed, to enter that career. So that's part of a main component that we've had the opportunity to participate in with through the Urban League, the Dress for Success.
And that's very important, because you can have the experience, you can have the education, but you know, if the job calls for it, if you don't have that jacket combined with that button-up shirt and that tie, it's a good chance you won't get that job. And even on a daily basis, that job might not call for you to wear a suit.
Right.
You know, but you need to wear that suit to that interview. That's why you at least need one, you know, get that job.
We've had several of our lecturers come into our program in our weekly meetings. Harvesting Dreams holds weekly meetings every Wednesday from 12 to 1, and we have different speakers come in. But all the employers that come in, they can't say enough about the way that you present yourself and the way that you look. So keep that in mind. Every young man needs a good suit in his wardrobe. So I want to talk a little bit about, why do we think that we need this program, whether it's the Black History program in collaboration with Harvesting Dreams. Why do we need these things for our African American males? We talk a lot about the sacrifices that our ancestors have made for us to be able to attend school. And during this time, Black History Month is a time to celebrate those sacrifices. It's a time to appreciate what people have done before us. But I'd like to know, what does it mean for you, Kyle? What does it mean for you?
It's just a time for me to reflect and look back as what's happened in the past. I like to learn from, you know, eras where I wasn't living. I mean, all of us can learn from eras, because at some point there was a time period before us where we weren't on this earth. So you need to look back and find out what was happening then and see what you can apply, you know, from that time period to help you move forward in the future. And also, you know, you don't want to repeat history, you know, with mistakes of the past. So that's a good way of also knowing, you know, what just went on. It's just something just to be knowledgeable about, you know, especially African Americans, I would say in this country, and what happened in the 50s and 60s, we know that was a civil rights era, and to not, have an inkling of, what that era meant to where you are right now and how you can be able to walk down the street and do certain things. You just have to be conscious of certain things that happened in the past always.
Right. I think a lot of the younger brothers especially are, they're not familiar with the history. They are not familiar with the legacy. So it's an opportunity to pass these stories down to these young men. Mr. Bryson, you and I were talking about that, and I know that's mentioned in your book a little bit, especially the no tripping component, the workbook. But perhaps you could expound on that a little bit. What Black History Month, what is having harvesting dreams represented there really means to you?
Well, I think the theme of the Black History Month at ICC this year is called the fight for education. Young folks don't realize that people had to fight as well as sacrifice in order for them to attend college. It's very disappointing to me to see students who are attending ICC texting. It's very disappointing to me to see students when you have a homework assignment, it's not done. It's very distressing to me to see students running to get home to do nothing, but not understanding that that we had to fight in order for individuals to participate in this educational process. Now, like your schools at Central, Manual, and Woodruff, well, young folks don't realize that now School District 150 is predominantly African American, but at one time it wasn't like that at all. It was due to the segregation and desegregation process, which I went through to see desegregation at Woodruff. When I would go to school, students were being bussed in. I was walking in, but I lived in the Taft. But we had to walk through a corridor of police and walk right down the sidewalks. We actually had to have police protection to go into Woodruff. And that was the first stage. That was the front line. But then once you got into the school, then you entered your second front line. I mean, it was not an environment for education because it was racial tension constantly. Not only racial tension, I mean, it's hard to be educated in an environment that really doesn't want you. It's hard to be educated in an environment not only where the students don't want you, but then the teachers don't understand how to educate you. And so it's a very, very confusing environment to learn in. So looking at those, what I went through, looking at, the sacrifices that were being made, is very disturbing to me to see how our current students just take education for granted.
I couldn't have said that better myself. And, you said they had to fight for the right to educate. And see, a lot of young men don't realize that when they take that word for granted, oh, they had to fight. But I mean, blood was shed.
Lives were lost.
Yeah, lives were lost. People, I mean, it was actually like a war.
Right, and I would say, most students maybe don't have the support system around them to get the history passed down to them. So, that's what I guess professionals like ourselves or people who are in the field have to let them know. This is what happened before you.